Going back to Childhood, I was reading absolutely fine. So what an episode it was! All the theories, all everything, all the kind of promos which we saw confirming Yelena would be there in Hawkeye, and somehow we saw it coming because recently. After the launch of the movie Black Widow, Yelena was definitely, and after the specific post-credit scene of Black Widow, it was definitely confirmed that she is going to be a part of this ongoing saga which is happening. Because the same lady which hired, which was there in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, kind of goes her and goes to speak with her. So obviously, we saw somehow she is going to be linked to this ongoing phase 4 which is happening, and now officially we have her in the episode. So to keep this like to start firstly with the spoiler free part, we obviously saw this coming, so this was not actually a kind of a spoiler. We kind of got to know her from her looks and from all the things that she, because she was the closest to Nat, and Nat was directly linked to Clint because of what happened after Endgame. So Endgame के बाद Yelena was one of the Yelena is Black Widow's sister who were trained, and अगर आपने Black Widow की पूरी मूवी देखी होगी तो आपको समझ जाएगा. एंड पोस्ट क्रेडिट सीन के बाद तो इट वाज वेरी मच क्लियर कि ब्लैक विडो की जो बहन है whose name is Yelena, she would be appearing in this ongoing phase 4 which is happening. So before I start with the overall breakdown of the episode, of the new episode, first I'll just give you a quick spoiler free review to keep it like things happen in this episode which you will not expect to. First of all, itself, it is a good past which is related to Ronin, and again, this is not a breather episode at all. This episode is about how Link and how Kate is going to be more involved into this episode. So you have to have to watch this episode. And all in all, with respect to cinematic viewers, with respect to trick arrows, with respect to Maya's past, and not wasting at all that much time, it has a kind of a humor. It has a kind of an amazing action sequence, and directly from the promos, we already knew that Elena was going to be there in the episode. So that was the biggest part of the overall episode. And now to start with the overall breakdown, let's start with breaking screen by screen. So just start with a quick recap of what we saw in the previous episode. There was this amazing car scene where they kind of destroy all the Santa, and we get to see that he was trying to explain them that Ronan is already dead, but that they are still not able to understand what he's saying. And we've already seen that Jack has already stolen Ronan's overall sword from that auction, and after that we get to see Armand being dead. And then as and when they were trying to break, because her family basically owns an entire security company, so as and when they are trying to go and hack into the security cameras, we get to see her account is kind of disabled now. And at the end, when we saw that Jack telling Hawkeye don't move, we kind of saw a kind of action scene coming, but it doesn't happen in that way. We actually get to see that they know, and even her mom is over there, and they kind of have this conversation where she actually tells her mom that she's just not kidding around. She's actually working with the Hawkeye as a partner, even though he denies. And in this specific part, she just tries to tell them that she is actually working on something, and it is not kind of a made up thing. But her mom is still growing more concerned about it because she doesn't want to lose her again. And she again tells him that even he must have kids, so she's just very much concerned about Kate. And he kind of makes her a promise that he would try to keep her safe in all. But at the same time, we obviously get to see he retrieves his sword, which was kind of stolen from Jack, and then he asks Laura to just find more information about the Sloan, because the Sloan Limited was something which Kate had kind of seen while they were trying to dig more secrets in while they were searching about it. And then we kind of see a funny scene about Eleanor. So now I am trying to guess, I am trying to make just a theory that Eleanor is kind of linked to that lady who had recruited the new Captain America, the fake Captain America, as well as Yelena. So probably there is a quite link between here, and probably she kind of tries to tell that lady that something needs to be done with Clint. And we go ahead and we find out more that Laura digs some more information, and she gets to know that there are a lot of things which are happening. And Jack basically is the CEO of that specific company where they were working for. So we get to find some more information that those specific people who were kind of fighting, they and the employee who was being there with Maya, he is actually working with Jack. So definitely Jack is somehow linked into this. They just try to make a promise that they could return back to Christmas, but we all know that he is still going to be there in New York. And at the same time, Eleanor is kind of still trying to make a kind of a dinner or plan a party, but that just seems a kind of a non-essential part of the episode, literally, because we all want to know what happens next. Because these things are a kind of some breather things which are kind of put in. They tries to make jokes, they try to be funny, and we go further ahead where Clint is kind of really alone, and that kind of makes Kate realize that he is not there with his family. She just go ahead and pays him a visit, and then they kind of try to make a kind of movie marathon or kind of plan what exactly they need to do from here onwards, because he tells them that he tells Kate actually that there could something like there could really be some dirt that they could get on Jack, because he finds out that Jack is after all going to be their main villain along with what Yelena is after all doing. But after all, he finally tries to open up to her, because it is after all Christmas Eve and they are kind of trying to bond over there, but at the same time the things that he has done and what has happened in the past. Then she also talks about what happened during the blip, where half of the population was gone, and then he kind of gets very much emotional, and he kind of tries to tell her that he was not Ronin, but she kind of realizes that it was him. And then after that, there is just an emotional scene where he just tries to remember about Natasha and how he was not able to save her. But that, after all, was a part of the overall plan, which was kind of linked about it. And then we get to see he directly confronting this guy. Before that, he just tells Kate that she should go and meet these people. Because his trick arrows are still with the NYPD's department. So even though she was trying to make a deal with them, she ends up making an overall hustle over there. And then we get to see he's already meeting with this guy and trying to make a deal with him, because this guy kind of knows that that Maya is chasing a ghost. She is not on the right path, because revenge is after all not a good thing. Even if she's trying to revenge her father, but he just tries to give him a clear warning that this should not happen anymore during the future. But as and when we go ahead with respect to the episode, we get to see that obviously he is going to try to convince him so that he could convince Maya. And then we come back over here. They were just trying to make a kind of a deal, because the Rolex was not exactly destroyed. It was at a specific location, which Laura kind of informs him. So now they have a mission where they have to go and find that specific watch. And in the meantime, we have all these the LARP group, like the live action role play of the NYPD and the fire department, who are kind of just trying to make some good amends with them. And this was a kind of funny scene. Then we actually get to see they working together, and they have located the place where that watch is in that specific apartment. Despite of all the plans Hawkeye had. Kate being Kate, she just directly dives into the building, trying to manipulate that old man and gets inside the elevator. And this is actually when we see that that specific part of the trailer where she says that she is having a secret that she is going to work. She is actually working with an Avenger, but clearly she doesn't. That guy doesn't believe her, and she just leaves that place. And then she finally barges into that home where that place is, where they will be finding that watch. And when she finally finds that watch, she also sees a list about Clint and all his family members. So whoever has stolen that specific watch is kind of doing a thing, like having a thing against Clint. And then we kind of realize that it is after all not any random person. It is the home that they are at this moment. It is Maya's home, and they are trying to fight them. But at the same time, we get to see a similar fight at the place where Hawkeye is. this. So ultimately, we get to know that all the entire fight sequence and the amazing trick arrow things and trying to rely on and everything. All in all, an amazing fight sequence. And during that fight sequence, we get to finally understand and see what exactly is with Maya. Because when even Maya tries to come at that specific place where they are all trying to fight, we get to see this red specific light, which is a clear sign of the Black Widow and all the weapons that they had. So it was the first hint about Yelena which we got, and then he just tries to put her away from all that, but being Kate, she would never understand that. And this was the first specific sign where we've seen Natasha doing this in the past. And when he was just trying to let her go, it was a similar moment of Natasha being from Vormir, and because he knows that there is going to be the Christmas lights and all the lightning and the wires down there, he just tries to let her go. But she kind of comes back in the scenario and uses one of those trick arrows, and then we finally get to see the masked person. And while that masked person is still trying to fight with her, she kind of makes it very much difficult to fire, because and just finally the electricity cracking which happens with respect to the specific weapons that all these Black Widows have. We finally get to see she is Yelena. And now from here onwards, Kate thinks that she could kill her, but she just says that she just kind of has that hint that she is a very good person, because she didn't technically attack her, and she actually attacked Maya and tried to altogetherly side her away from Clint and Kate, and doing that she just kind of escapes. And at that specific time, Clint still doesn't let her know that who exactly she is, although she is going to know that who she is, but Clint already knows that so there are chances that Clint might know or Clint might not know who he is. She is directly Natasha's sister, but this is definitely a point of that point of time where Yelena could probably be in a revenge, because we have seen in the Black Widow's finale and the post-credit scene that she was kind of really she was at the grave of Natasha, and she was not really feeling that much good. And definitely her vibes were with respect to revenge. So that lady's plan was definitely to recruit Yelena in whatever her major plans are. And then we get to just see that Hawkeye is just trying to get Kate away from him, because he really doesn't want her to get too much involved into this, even though she is almost now that she knows that he is Ronin, so he's almost very much involved in the entire scenario, and he just tries to say that it is over, but definitely it is not. So yeah, that is it for all in all the episode, the new episode of Hawkeye, and thank you so much if you are still watching until here. It was an amazing episode because we finally get to see that apart from multiverse which is happening, this is the real things which are happening, by the way, on the sideline, be it the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and at the end the lady, I still don't remember her name, but I just know her as an amazing actress from Veep. She is super amazing, and she's trying to recruit these people. So there would be some Black Avengers, there would be some Dark Avengers, similar parts of these dark characters. There could be an army, and later on we could probably have a kind of a war, probably 4 to 5 years ahead the timeline, because we already have a lot in our plate right now. So thank you so much for watching until here. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed it yet. I'll be meeting you in the next video.